Good day. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. All right. Lots of things happen in this first week of March. Today is the birthday of the late Monsignor Gladstone Orlando Stanislaus Wilson. He was born on March 10, 1906. So this is the 116th anniversary. That's one thing that has happened. And that maybe can be a backdrop for some of the other things that happened, and I'll try and see if I can tie them in. This past Sunday was 25 years since Michael Manley passed. It is now 50 years since Michael Manley was in power as Prime Minister of Jamaica, and it's now 25 years since he died. This past Tuesday was International Women's Day, and I have a few comments on that. This past Tuesday as well, we had the budget speech, and there are some rearrangement of the faces on the Jamaican money. So let us start with some of the things that has happened. And of course, Monday gone, how could I forget? How could I forget? Monday gone, the 7th of March, schools reopened face-to-face. Yes, so schools reopened face-to-face. And we're going to discuss International Women's Day, New Faces on the Money, Michael Manley's anniversary, Monsignor Wilson's birthday today. So I'll try and see how I can tie them in. First, as far as the face-to-face classes are concerned, there are reports of school canteens concessionaires oppressing the students with high prices of food, especially the fast food chain concessionaires. This has become more markedly so since the COVID pandemic, but there were complaints about this long before the COVID pandemic. There needs to be a law that puts in effect a price control on items sold in school canteens. If the large fast food concessionaires cannot deal with that and choose to end their contracts with the schools prematurely, then so be it. But that is the only way we can deal with that, because they have already signed their contracts and they can't be just put out like that. But a law in the country could say, if you are in fact a concessionaire at a school or you're running a school canteen, these are the prices, like the old-time price controls that we had up to the 70s and 80s. So I've finished with one thing. Belated Happy International Women's Day to all women. The oppression of women brought about a need for an international observance is to be deplored, and I'm happy that such conditions are not as bad as they used to be. But it is my humble opinion that women should simultaneously observe Internatural Women's Day, Natural, Internatural Women's Day, with the Blessed Virgin Mary as a perfect example. It was Pope John Paul II who said that we should not blur the differences between men and women. Pope John Paul II. And I see today, especially in the West, a lot of blurring of that difference. What is International Women's Day about? It should be about the ending of oppression of women. But is it about how women can act like men? Is that what it has come to? And this is why I say that simultaneously, what should be celebrated is Internatural Women's Day. I refuse to get, the third thing that I'm going to say is that I refuse to get too excited one way or another about the reshuffle of faces on the money here in Jamaica. Yes, I detect a certain amount of politics, but that is what politicians do. I am of the view that when it comes to honoring people, whether in awards, national awards, whether it is in naming roads, bridges, and buildings, whether it is in putting people on the money, then historians and researchers should be called in to have a say, and it should not be just left up to the politicians. In 1969, when we declared our national heroes, Sir Alexander Bustamante became our only living national hero. And why is that? A decision had been taken that Marcus Garvey, George William Gordon, and Paul Bogle would be the first three national heroes. A decision was further taken that Sir Alexander Bustamante and Norman Washington Manley would become national heroes when they die. But guess what happened? Norman Manley died in that same year, and he became a national hero. And it is as if the government of the day, led by Hugh Shearer, said, we can't have the PNP having a national hero and the JLP not having one. So they changed the law to allow Sir Alexander Bustamante to be a national hero while he was alive. Now, that sort of politics I don't really like. And I think that too much has gone on where things are named after people, and to be honest, some of the times they don't really deserve it. So, and it reminds me of the money. I have no problem with the reorganizing of the money, but at the same time, I also know that there's a certain amount of politics in it, right? And I won't say where, but that is a fact. So, having spoken about all of those things, I will now talk about Monsignor Gladstone Wilson, whose birthday is today. This Roman Catholic priest was born in Mavis Bank on the St. Andrews side of the Blue Mountains of Jamaica on March 10, 1906, was regarded as the seventh most learned man in the world when he was alive. He had at least 3 doctorates, and he spoke 14 languages fluently. He was born in Mavis Bank, St. Andrew. He studied in Rome. He was a university lecturer in Rome, and on his return to Jamaica was the chancellor of the Diocese of Kingston on his return to Jamaica. Now, how I tie this in with Norman Manley being on the money is that Monsignor Wilson, in 1941, when he returned to Jamaica, became a part of the Drumblair Circle. That was Norman Manley's friends, and Drumblair was the name of his home. And I believe that it was he that introduced to Norman Manley the encyclicals of the Catholic Church, especially when they speak about a living wage, and of course in 1975, Michael Manley introduced a law about a minimum wage. And it ties into the Michael Manley anniversary, because when Michael Manley got in trouble at Jamaica College, I think Norman Manley had a case out in the country, in the rural areas, and he asked Monsignor Wilson to oversee the matter, as Norman Manley, was busy with a court case in rural Jamaica. And that was indeed ironic, because Monsignor Wilson was refused entry into Jamaica College, as well as Monroe, given the racial and class nature of Jamaica at the time and its elite schools. Given the class nature, he was refused. And here he was now negotiating with the principal on behalf of a well-known lawyer in the country for his son, who would eventually become the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And of course, Monsignor Wilson lived to see that, because Michael Manley became Prime Minister in 1972, and Monsignor Wilson died in 1974. It was St. George's College that allowed him entry, and it was at St. George's College that he became converted to the Roman Catholic Church. I am a Jamaica College boy. I am a Jamaica College Pass student, but I recognize the history of Jamaica College, that it was what it was. I'm also proud that Norman Manley and Michael Manley went there. And they changed the tone of Jamaica despite the fact that it was an elite school. Monsignor Gladstone Wilson, who I already mentioned, spoke 14 languages fluently, was personally congratulated by Pope Pius XI for speeches made at the Vatican. At the same time, he attired himself humbly and on one occasion was mistaken for an ancillary worker. When Monsignor Gladstone Wilson returned to Jamaica in 1941, as I've mentioned, he was called to be part of the Drumblair Circle. I am happy to tell you that I was baptized into the Roman Catholic Church by Monsignor Gladstone Wilson. I'm also happy to tell you that he taught me at St. Michael's Seminary in my days as a seminarian in the 1970s. And the very last class that he ever had was with me alone on my 21st birthday. I turned 21 on Monday, November 25, 1974, having been born in 1953, and Monsignor Wilson died the following Sunday, December 1. So I'm happy to tell you that. Good day.